Both my parents are university educated. My mom worked my entire life. I've always been told that I'm a highly intelligent person. There was never a question in my life where I thought, oh, maybe I won't go to university. Like, it was just a given. And I guess I kind of thought that it was my job or my role to be like, I'm gonna move up the ranks, I'm gonna be a VP in a company, I'm gonna have this career ambition because we need women to do it, and so I have to be the woman to do it. I have subsequently changed the way that I view my work and my life, and I am not blaming anyone. My reactions to the way that life has played out are my own. I may very well change my mind and decide that I do want to be ambitious again, and I do want to move up the ladder, but right now, this is how I feel, and this is how I've felt for this. When did this happen? Probably like a good 8 to 12 months ago, so it's been a while. You know, I titled this, I know the moment that I lost my career ambition, and there was sort of a peak moment, but it was a culmination of a lot of moments that brought me to this shift, this release of ambition. I guess I need to tell you a little bit about me to have you guys really understand. I have a few deep-seated beliefs about myself. And like, you know those pressure points where people touch them and you overreact and you don't know why, or maybe you do, but like the person doesn't realize because they just touched a button? I have a few of those. I think it comes from the fact that I have fairly low self-esteem, or I had fairly low self-esteem as a preteen, as a teenager, and then when I gained self-esteem was when I started talking to boys online, and they would tell me that I was pretty, and then enough boys told me that I was pretty. So this was when I was maybe 15, 16, and so I started to believe that I was pretty, and that really helped me gain self-esteem, but it also made my self-esteem come from a place where I only believed that I was worthwhile because I was pretty. And even though, you know, I've always been a high-achieving student, I have a university degree, not much of my self-esteem comes from that. I have a strong sense of the imposter syndrome. At work, I look around at people and I say, how am I surrounded by so many people who know what they're doing while I have no clue what I'm doing? I look around and I think, they're gonna figure it out. They're gonna figure out that I have no idea what I'm doing. Someday someone's gonna go and audit all my work or peer review all my work, and they're gonna see that I'm just a fraud and I have no idea. Even though my evaluations are good, I still, like, every time my boss says, hey, can we talk for 5 minutes? I'm like, here it is. I'm gonna get fired. And so there's that. But there's also a deep-seated part of me that believes that I am unlikable, that I am not a good person. And a lot of it comes from, you know, just the way I just don't feel like I was never the popular kid. I was never the one that people were drawn to. You know, I always felt like I was more on the outside, and whether or not that was true, I don't know if it was. When I think back, I go, was it true? Is it? I don't know, but it's how I felt. And so I guess I developed a defense mechanism of heavy sarcasm, and when sometimes I say things a lot where I have foot and mouth experiences, where I say it and then I go, oh, that was mean. Or sometimes I don't even realize it was mean, and then someone else goes, oh, like they bring it to my attention that I was being mean, and I go, oh, yeah, I guess that was mean. I remember my mom telling me as a teenager, she's like, sometimes you say things and I can't believe you're so mean about it. And I don't want to be so mean. And I try not to be so mean. But I guess my meanness makes me feel like I'm unlikable, and I guess if I am that mean, then it makes sense that I'm unlikable. But my evaluations from the beginning of when I started, and I started working professionally, like full-time, like over 2.5 years ago, my evaluations have always been, your work is good, your personality isn't. I mean, that's not what they say. They say, you know, sometimes you say things that you probably shouldn't say, and so I work on it, and I try to work on it. There is a strong correlation between my menstrual cycle and how friendly I can be. When I am premenstrual, I am a lot meaner. I say a lot of things, and it's hard. It's not every month, but some months I have these, like, the real me is in the back of my head, watching this PMS me driving my body, going, nope, you don't control Michelle right now. Michelle is under my control, and she's gonna be a raging bitch. Once I start being mean, then I sort of start to catch myself, and then I go, what time of the month is it? Okay, I guess it sort of makes sense. So, you know, I've started trying to implement things like not talking as much when I'm premenstrual, or my boss would say, you know, go for walks, you know, do what you gotta do, but you can't bring people down. And then another problem is that the more comfortable I am with people, the more mean I get. With strangers, you're not gonna be a huge bitch unless you're in a really bad mood. But with your friends, you just sort of let your guard down. As I worked more and more, I think I got better at controlling it a lot of the time, but when I wasn't able to control it, it got bad. And I would warn my coworkers. I would say, you guys, I'm really hormonal today, like, I'm sorry. I'd tell them in advance. It didn't make it better. It doesn't forgive anything that I ever said, because I own it. I know that things that I say when I'm premenstrual are things that I said. Like, I could have put tape over my mouth, I could have not gone to work that day, I could have done whatever. Like, it was me. It was not another personality. It was me in a bad mood. But still, I've been like this my entire life. Like, if there was a magic cure for moody bitchiness, maybe I would have found it already. Like, I try really hard, because I don't want to be unlikable, and yet here I am. So I guess I'm coming to the moment. The climax of this video, the time that I'm talking about in the title of this video, I was particularly hormonal. Just bad things spitting out of my mouth. Not things that would get me fired, but things that, you know, they sting. Things that you just shouldn't say at the office, things that you shouldn't say as a person. I don't even remember what I said. Like, I don't remember the build up to why this happened, but one of my colleagues, after I was hormonal, because they were smart enough to wait and not tell me while I'm crazy, he said, you know, can we go in a conference room and talk? And I said, okay. And we sat down, and he said, look, Michelle, you need to sort this out, because I see a lot of potential in you, and I think you're gonna go far, but he said that he once had a boss who was on hormones to try to become pregnant, I think, or something, I don't know. And it basically made his life miserable because of the mood swings and the craziness, and he was so unhappy. And this is a guy who is just a really happy, gets along with everyone, lighthearted person, and here he's telling me that it was, you know, not her fault necessarily, but her being hormonal that made him miserable. And I thought, and I'd had these thoughts before, but I said, me when I'm hormonal, me when I'm being short with people, me when I'm just saying mean things, like, I wouldn't want that as my boss. I would sit around hating my boss. And then I go, well, if I wouldn't want me as my boss, then I don't want to be a boss. I don't think that I would do a good job, and I know there's more to being a boss than being likable, but when you combine the fact that I don't feel good at my job, despite what my evaluations say, I just don't feel good at it, I don't feel likable, and then you have people sitting me down telling me people who were like you made me miserable. I can connect the dots and say, you as you are would make you miserable. And this colleague was fully well-intentioned, because I do believe that he thinks that I'm gonna go far in this company, or in my career, or wherever. You know, he's always been a mentor and just a friend and a good person, but I've been me for 25 years, almost 26 years. I can't change who I am. And so for someone to sit you down and say, if you don't change who you are, if you don't get this mood swing, PMS thing under control, you're gonna make people miserable. I mean, I don't disagree with him. Me in my current state would make people miserable. And so I don't think that I deserve to move up in the company. I don't think I deserve to be someone's boss. And that's just the truth. Right where I am now, I just think, you know, give me work to do. I'll do my work. Get it done. Do a good job. Clock in, clock out. And there's no shame in that. I feel almost guilty saying that I don't want to be ambitious, but like there's still part of me that thinks you should want to be ambitious, but I don't right now. That's my story. I know that there are going to be some people who are going to leave mean comments, saying mean things about me. Judge away. I judge me every day, so you can't say meaner things than I say to myself. I mean, I don't even know what questions to ask you guys. Just if you could share your stories, whatever your stories are, I would appreciate it. I love you guys, and thank you for watching this long video of me rambling. It's not a pity party. This is my reaction to my life and who I am, and I love you guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for calling. Bye.